Jason Holt had been dreaming about this cruise for a long time. He was a high school science teacher from Columbus, Ohio, and life had been busy and stressful for years. Grading papers, attending meetings, helping his students prepare for exams, it all took a toll. His wife, Lisa, worked as a nurse at a local hospital, and her shifts were long and tiring. They both needed a break. So when Jason finally saved enough money, he surprised Lisa with tickets for a 7-day Royal Caribbean cruise. To the Caribbean. It was going to be a family trip, just the 4 of them, Jason, Lisa, and their 2 kids, Emily and Daniel. Emily was 10 years old, full of energy and always asking questions about sea creatures and coral reefs. Daniel, who was 7, loved games, cartoons, and anything that involved running around. The idea of a big ship with pools, slides, and endless food excited him more than anything. When Jason told them about the trip, Emily jumped up and down and Daniel shouted, "Are we really going to live on a boat?" Jason laughed and said yes, a very big boat. The day finally came. They packed their bags, said goodbye to their neighbors, and drove to Miami. The weather was warm, the sky was blue, and palm trees swayed in the breeze. When they arrived at the port, the ship stood before them like a floating city. It had 12 decks, bright white walls, and rows of windows that sparkled in the sun. People walked around with colorful drinks in their hands. Music played from speakers, and staff in crisp uniforms greeted everyone with big smiles. "This is it," Jason said, taking Lisa's hand. "Our vacation." They checked in quickly, showed their passports, and got their cruise cards. These cards were like keys and wallets all in one. They opened their room door and kept track of everything they bought on the ship. A friendly worker named Carlos helped them find their stateroom. It was small but clean, with 2 beds, a tiny bathroom, and a window that looked out to the ocean. Daniel ran to the window and pressed his face against the glass. "I can see fish!" he yelled, even though they were still docked. That afternoon, the ship left the port. The family stood on the deck, watching Miami get smaller and smaller. The water turned from green to deep blue, and the wind blew gently through their hair. Emily pointed at a seagull flying above, and Daniel waved at other kids on the deck. Lisa leaned on the railing and smiled. "I can already feel the stress leaving my body," she said. The first dinner was in the main dining room. Long tables, soft lights, waiters in black vests, and menus with fancy names like grilled mahi-mahia and Caribbean coconut shrimp. Jason ordered the shrimp, Lisa had the chicken, and the kids got pasta with butter. The food was delicious. After dinner, there was a live show in the theater. Singers, dancers, and a man who could juggle 5 flaming torches at once. Daniel clapped so hard his hands turned red. The next morning, the ship stopped at a small island with white sand and clear water. The family went on a snorkeling tour. Jason helped Emily put on her mask, and Lisa held Daniel's hand as they stepped off the boat into the warm sea. Under the water, everything was alive. Bright fish darted between coral, sea turtles floated slowly by, and once Daniel screamed because a small crab pinched his toe. They laughed and splashed and took dozens of photos. Back on the ship, they ate lunch at an open-air grill. Burgers, fries, lemonade. After that, Jason and Lisa sat in lounge chairs by the pool while the kids played in the splash zone. The sun was warm, the music was soft, and for the first time in years, Jason felt completely relaxed. No emails, no lesson plans, no bills to pay, just the ocean and his family. That evening, they went to a movie night under the stars. A big screen was set up on the deck and everyone brought blankets and pillows. The movie was a fun adventure film with pirates and treasure. Emily whispered questions the whole time, and Daniel fell asleep halfway through, his head on Jason's lap. Lisa leaned on Jason's shoulder. "This is perfect," she said quietly. Jason smiled and kissed the top of her head. The third day started with breakfast in their room. They ordered pancakes, fruit, and orange juice through room service, and it arrived on a tray with a little note that said, "Enjoy your day. Daniel drew a smiley face on the napkin and taped it to the door. After eating, they went to a family game show in the main hall. Teams competed to answer silly questions and do goofy challenges. Jason and Lisa were on a team with Emily and another family. They didn't win, but they laughed the whole time, especially when Jason had to dance like a penguin to earn points. In the afternoon, they tried the rock climbing wall. It wasn't too high, and safety ropes kept everyone secure. Emily made it to the top and rang the bell. Daniel got scared halfway and came down, but he was proud anyway. Jason took a photo of both kids with their arms up in victory. Later, they went to the ice cream parlor and got sundaes with whipped cream, cherries, and sprinkles. That night, Jason decided to check their onboard account. Royal Caribbean sent an email saying guests could view their spending online. He pulled out his phone, logged into the cruise app, and looked at the charges. Most of it made sense. Breakfast, ice cream, a few drinks. But then he saw something strange. A charge for $1,300 under incidentals and services. His heart stopped. He read it again. $1,300, no description, no details, just those words. He tapped on the item, hoping for more information, but the screen said, "Further details not available at this time." His hands started to shake. That was more than half of what they had paid for the entire cruise. He showed it to Lisa. "What is this?" she asked, her voice tight. "I don't know," Jason said. "I didn't buy anything like that. Did you?" Lisa shook her head. "No, not even close." They looked at each other, both thinking the same thing. Something was very wrong. Jason called guest services right away. A woman answered and said she would transfer him to the billing department. After 10 minutes on hold, a man named Carlos came on the line. Jason explained the charge calmly, step by step. Carlos said he would check the system. "One moment, please," he said. Jason waited. The room was quiet. Emily and Daniel were watching a cartoon on the TV. Lisa sat on the bed, arms crossed, eyes fixed on Jason. Carlos came back. "Mr. Holt, I see the charge. It was flagged by our security team because of unusual activity linked to your stateroom." "What kind of activity?" Jason asked. "Premium services accessed," Carlos said. "Possibly spa, specialty dining, or concierge. Upgrades. But we didn't use any of those," Jason said. "We've been eating in the dining room and using the free activities. I don't even know where the spa is." Carlos said he understood, but the system showed activity from the room's access code. Jason said that was impossible. They never gave the code to anyone.